दधाति पूर्वम् यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादी नगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। ॐ The word Vedanta means, primarily the word Vedanta means the Upanishad. Okay. So now if I'm going to give you one word to substitute for another word, you are collecting words. Collecting words is not understanding. Some understanding has to take place. The word Vedanta means the culmination of Veda. The conclusion, the final teaching of Veda is Vedanta. I don't want to make anything very esoteric, because I would want to keep things as clear and free from any kind of mysticism as possible. Ask me, why am I so averse to this mysticism? The only reason is that when you are saying that it is mystical or mysticism, it means it has got two implications: that something is inexplicable, and it is means mystical, inexplicable. What is God? Very mystical. If something is inexplicable, then perhaps there are two reasons. One is because you don't know how to explain it, or perhaps I won't be able to understand it. And that is the reason why it remains inexplicable, unknown. Now, when you are going to say something is unknown and will always remain unknown, I feel this is a basic insult to the intelligence. Because the function of intelligence is to know what is unknown. And if it is not able to, or if it is prevented, or if it is told you cannot, then either that is a misuse, abuse of that faculty of intelligence. If there is anything that is truly to be cherished, celebrated in a human being, then that is this quality of understanding, intelligence. If your love also does not allow you to understand the other person, then what love would that be? Just feeling attracted to you, but not understanding whether you're hungry, thirsty, sad or happy. What kind of love would that be? Just that I feel attracted to you and that's all. So therefore, even love also is responsible to generate some understanding. If it doesn't, then there is no growth. When you are in love, you start understanding the other person. You can understand his defects and yet go ahead. But understanding is what gives you the edge. And therefore, this is something that should be cherished, worshipped in a human being. But when we are going to disrespect this faculty of understanding, for example, where a person is denied even the basic rights to be educated, that is denying a human being it is more important, perhaps maybe more important than food and shelter. I'm not missing it by saying that give them food or give them education. No. Food, shelter, etc. is basic. Is basic, is fundamental. But education, etc. is higher, important. Now, so the word Veda means to know, to understand. And Anta means culmination. It means that highest point where human intelligence can reach. That final peak where your intelligence can take you. Would there not be anything more to be known thereafter? And if it is not, why not? Anta means final, culmination of knowing which nothing more remains to be known. Knowing which, seeing which, nothing more is then after left behind to be seen, which means it is that knowledge which gives the completeness to your existence. Having achieved something, having gotten something, if you are left for asking for more, for something else than what you have got, what you have attained or achieved was not final. Therefore, when we are saying it is this knowledge in which now nothing more is left behind, which gives this completeness to the existence, then it is this is the meaning of word Vedanta. The word Vedanta is also equated to, as I told you, is Upanishad. Upanishad is the last portion of the Veda. So by the position wise also, being the last culminating portion, it is called Vedanta. But it is just not a culminative position, but it also means that culmination of knowledge. Culmination of knowledge. The word Upanishad has got sad as the verbal root. The verbal root is sad. And upa and ni are the prefixes. When these prefixes are put together with that sad dhatu, with the sad verbal root, the word Upanishad is formed. Sanskrit grammar is more mathematical. 1 plus 1 is going to be this. Upa plus ni plus sad, then the prakriya becomes, the word that comes final is Upanishad. The verbal root sad has got these three meanings. It means Visharana, Avasadana and Gati. Visharana means to destroy. What does it destroy? All that gets destroyed is only ignorance. That which destroys the ignorance. And destruction of ignorance means if you did not know an object before and now you know the object. So in the previous case there was ignorance of this object and now the ignorance is not there. So what has happened in the process of knowing is only that the ignorance has gone away. This is destruction of ignorance. Destruction of ignorance is not something falling apart, pieces flying here and there. It simply means that it was not known before, it's known now. What was not known to you, sir? We are going to say, what was not known was Brahman. What is this Brahman? What is this Brahman? Then, just for your convenience, I will give this and we can go into its analysis a little later. The word Brahman means that what is not limited, that what is not limited by time, space and object is Brahman. Say suppose if I was to use the word God to mean this, I use the word God. Now this word God does not convey the same meaning, which means that what is not limited by time, space and object. That which is the very reality behind all these names and forms is what we are referring as Brahman. Okay? For example, when we have a clay pot, a clay plate, a clay spoon, a clay bowl, all these things, the bowl, the spoon, the plate, the pot, all these are various names and forms, aren't they? Pot is a name, pot is a form which appears in the clay and also disappears in the clay. Before the pot is born and after the pot is destroyed, and even during the tenure when the pot is, all this thing happens in the clay. Clay does not change. Clay does not change with the birth of the pot. Clay does not change when the pot goes on living, and the clay does not change even when the pot just. So there is no gain, there is no loss, but that clay is the very reality behind this name and form. So also is true with all these names and forms. All these are, the whole world is a big congregation of names and forms. Some names and forms you may like, some names and forms you may not like. Some of them you may love, and some of them you may just abhor. That is, what you like and what you don't like is not a discussion. But whatever that is all these names and forms. So then, just as the clay is the reality behind the names and forms, the pot, the plate, etc., so also now the question arises, what is that changeless reality behind all these names and forms? Behind all these names and forms, you see some person, black, white, brown, yellow, whatever. Names and forms are going to be different. Man, woman, child, these are different. In spite of those names and forms, there is that reality which supports, which is the very substratum of all the names and forms. For the names and forms to exist, there cannot be a pot without the clay. The pot is existing because the existence of the pot is supported by the clay. Withdraw the clay, and where is the pot? The name, the form, the functions, the attributes, where is all that going to be? Where is it going to be? So even this functional reality with which you are functioning, the pot, gains its existence because there is that clay. So also all these names and forms are subject to coming and going. Is not it? Birth is a birth of a name and form, and death is a disappearance of that name and form. And this is a constant process. The constant process of birth and death, coming and going, is happening. But it is happening only because it is supported by that something which you do not know. You are able to see the names and forms, but what is it that is behind these names and forms? We are involved, our intelligence is involved only in analyzing, in looking at the name and form. And because our intelligence is hovered over there only with name and form, one is not able to penetrate beyond it, go beyond and discover that which is the very existence. This very existence is indicated by the word Brahman. So the knowledge, so if I was to use the word God, all this meaning would not come. You would have had said God means something to whom we are going to pray every day morning. No, finished. God is not someone whom you pray to. God is in which the whole world is existing. You know, you will come across these people who are going to say, God is real. There is no dearth of people. They will come to fight. Actually, all their arguments about God is an invitation to fight. Have you ever observed these people?
Yeah.
Come on, let's fight. Talk about God. That's a legitimate reason to fight. Come on. For 2000 years, what else have you been doing? Fighting over God. That's why I'm not, I'm a little afraid of even using that word. Knowing Brahman, one does not know at this moment what is that. What is that unchanging substratum behind this changing world? You see the world. You are able to see the pot, but you are not able to see the clay. And the irony is, without seeing the clay, you cannot see the pot. And the fact is that what you are really seeing is nothing but clay. What is that pot other than clay? By adding name and form to the clay, you really don't make any additions to the clay. If the clay was 500 grams and you made a pot, now the pot is not 500 grams plus something, is it? Is it 500 grams plus something? The chemical properties have changed, the physical properties have changed. What has changed? What has changed? What has got added to the clay? There was no addition. Take away the pot. Is there any subtraction? There is neither any addition nor has there been any subtraction. And therefore the clay remains unchanged. Just that. Immutable, unmodified. And that is the very reality, the very self of the pot. So also this world of changing names and forms. Don't we change? Do the names and forms don't change? Some years before you were called, you look such a nice and cute baby. You know, when you grow up, your boyfriends still keep calling you baby, but he doesn't put you in a cradle. Whatever. But then you're no longer a baby, you're not a toddler, you're grown up. You're a teenager, nasty fellow. Then you grow into an adult. You grow into a late adult, and I don't know if there is a later adult, but whatever. Keep growing. Names and forms are changing, but something remains changeless. Another important rule is that there is no change possible without a changeless fact. No change is ever possible without the changeless. We give this example of the river. A river which is constantly flowing, and its constant flow means there is a constant change. So the river which you saw a minute before is not the same river. That what you saw a minute before has gone 2 miles away already. That's why there is that saying, right? You can't step into the river twice, same river twice. It's constantly changing. But this constantly flowing river cannot be flowing if there was no steady bed to support it. The bed of the river is changeless. The changes take place, and the change is the river. So without that what is changeless, the change is not possible. The world that you encounter, including this body, including the mind, is a constant process of flux, change. Your opinions are not the same as what you had yesterday. Change. Your preferences are not the same as you had them yesterday. Change. Your opinions change, your interests change, your preferences change, your ideas change, your loyalties change. Everything changes, including this body. Those who started coming to George's class 6 months ago, we did not have that much flexibility, and now it's a little more flexible. So there is a change. There is a change. The body changes, everything changes. But no change is possible without this changeless, and hence we are saying that what is a changeless, that which is the very substratum of all the changes, of all the names and forms, and yet is beyond the name and form. That word beyond is not a spatial indication. Like you say, beyond the river, I live beyond this river. And my house is there beyond this mountain. That is a spatial indication given by the word beyond. But when I'm going to say, this is that which is beyond the name and form, it does not mean any spatial distance. It does not mean any temporal distance. Distance created by time, distance by the space. No, it doesn't mean that. Because if I'm going to use the word beyond, when I'm going to say that the clay is beyond the pot, because the pot is born, clay is not born. Pot is destroyed, the clay is not destroyed, and therefore the creation, birth, death, etc., everything happens to this pot. But nothing changes in the clay. And therefore, though the clay is very much present, yet is transcendental, is eminent and transcendental, is very much present and yet beyond. Very much. This reality is what we call as Brahman. This is just a little bit. We are just about to begin. Then that is not known. I can see the world, but I am not able to see Brahman. Why would you even want to know Brahman? All right, you can see this world. Is there anything that is required? Why do you even want to know Brahman? And here we say that by knowing this Brahman, one goes beyond every form of sorrow, every form of grief. Now, grief does not just mean that because the grief which is caused by a demise of a person, etc., is not what is just grief, dukkham. Your sense of isolation, loneliness, or even boredom, your sense of this pressure of work, the pressure of living in Hong Kong, wanting to survive, wanting to prove. The situation is constantly demanding that you prove your utility, where you constantly are put to say that prove you are useful, you're important. And then even when one is not required, one constantly feels that his presence must be made, must be felt. Now this is also dukkham. This too is dukkham. Is not it? As much as the sense of loneliness, isolation is there, so all these things, various things are there. And the whole thing, this is the entire gamut, the Pandora's box of dukkham. We keep bringing things out of it. So here it is. So we say, in a sense, the Upanishad says that he who knows Brahman goes beyond dukkham. Who goes beyond dukkham? He who knows. He who knows. 100 times, just itch that in the mind. The one who sees Brahman or anything, oh, come on. You just spare me of that mysticism for a little while. The whole business of hocus pocus, jumbo mumbo, abracadabra, annoying. It's this morning also I said it's a cognitive process. So now, the word Upanishad means, the first meaning is destruction of ignorance. Ignorance will always be in reference to something. Oh, ignorance has gone. Means what has gone really? If you did not know Russian language, then you had ignorance of Russian language, and when you took the classes, now it has gone. That's it. So ignorance of something will be there. What ignorance are you talking about? About what? What is that ignorance that you're talking about? So whenever we are going to use the word ignorance, it means ignorance of Brahman. Not knowing Brahman is ignorance. This goes away. And why? Because in wake of this knowledge, or in wake of going away of ignorance, one rises above, goes beyond every form of dukkha. Tarati shokam atmavit. So now we want to. So the word Upanishad has got this Saddhatu, which means destruction of ignorance. Then it also means to loosen the bonds. Loosen the bonds. Bond means, don't think that, oh well, I'm bound to my wife, I'm bound to my husband, and I'm bound to my dog and house and everything. Well, bondage of any kind means something which is an obstacle to the freedom, which prevents the freedom, that is bondage. You want to be happy, but then you have things, circumstances which are preventing you. You say, how can I be happy? I still don't have a car, how can I be happy? I still don't have a nice girlfriend, how can I be happy? I have reasons. So you want to be happy, but you can't be happy. No, you are bound. You are bound. It's compulsory. When you don't want to be unhappy, yet you are made unhappy. So there is a bondage, and that which loosens this bondage is called Upanishad. Okay? Then the third meaning is Gati. Gati means destination. Sanjay? Gati is just not speed or something like that. Gati means destination. Okay? Gati is destination. This afternoon only, this girl was asking this question, what is the purpose? The life has no purpose. We are living without any purpose. We just living. Because you are eating potatoes in the morning, that's why you are surviving during the day. That's it. Otherwise, what is the reason for you to live? What is the reason? What is the purpose of living? Is there any purpose? And then we come up with this philosophies also. There is no purpose, okay? There is no purpose to your living. Then what is the purpose you are talking to us? He says, because I want to tell you that there is no purpose. So that is like vadato vyaghata dosha. It is a defect of self-cancellation. The moment you are saying it is cancelled, somebody comes and says, look here, please give me some donation, some charity, because I am a mute person. Mukoham, I am a mute person. Give me, I told you I am a mute person. Why aren't you giving? The moment you have spoken, it means you are not. This is called vadato vyaghata dosha. It is a defect. The defect of self-cancellation. The moment it is said, it is falsified. So don't say that there is no purpose, etc. What is the purpose? So if I'm talking, you are listening, there is a purpose, is not it? For this moment, there is a purpose that you want to understand, and I want to explain. And I'm explaining perhaps because you want to understand. So there is a purpose. There is a purpose. And that purpose, life is just not that. So if there is a purpose to this life, you are living, your every action and your every activity over here, then what is that ultimate purpose? Where do you want to really finally reach? Where does that life wants to finally reach? Life means you, okay? Where do you want to finally reach? Don't tell me that you want to go to heaven. And going to heaven, what would you do? Going to heaven, what would you do? The story doesn't end over there. Right? In fact, the story really begins here. Having reached heaven, what you're going to do? And this fellow says that, shh, don't ask, because all that I have missed on the earth, I'm going to do over there. And have you ever read their descriptions of heaven? All the beautiful girls that he missed over here, they're waiting for him there with garland. Come on. Swagatam. Swagatam bho. All the drinks that he missed over there are flowing free. What are you going to do? So going over there, so don't tell that heaven is the final destination. You're going to the heaven also has a purpose. So it can't be called as final destination. It could be a station on the way, but it's not a destination. All the activities, all your involvements, all your interactions with the world, for what? For what? And the answer is very simple and quick, because I am looking for fulfillment. Whether you are doing something religious or you are doing something sacrilegious, in both the cases, you are looking for fulfillment, aren't you? I want fulfillment. Why do you want fulfillment? It does not have an answer. Everything that you do is for fulfillment. And therefore this fulfillment is the destination. Gati, finding that you are complete. And that finding you are complete means that I lack nothing. I lack nothing, I need nothing, I am fulfilled, I am content. There is nothing less than this. Don't even compromise this for anything else, because all other pursuits are pseudo pursuits. They are pseudo. Gati. So Upanishad means upa, the word upa means close. Ni means completely. Shat, that which destroys the ignorance completely, that which loosens the bondages completely and from closely, and that what takes you to the destination finally is Upanishad. Now this is the word Upanishad, it means that it is this knowledge. It is the knowledge of Brahman, Brahma Vidya. Okay? This is the meaning of word Upanishad. And the title is Kaivalya Upanishad. In the Veda, there are 4 Vedas and there are several branches. Every branch has got its own Upanishad. And therefore, every Upanishad is a different body of words, but as a body of knowledge is the same. Okay? The word over here is Kaivalya Upanishad. Kaivalya means just that alone. Alone. Just that. The word just that has got several implications. Just that means pure, without any adulteration, without any other thing in it. Is just that. Is just pure. Absolute. Kaivalyam. Kevalasya bhavaha. Kaivalyam. Kaivalya Upanishad. So this word itself is conveying you that just that, knowing just that Brahman. Here we begin the study of Kaivalya Upanishad. Every Upanishad begins with a Shanti part. Shanti part means the invocation of peace. It is actually a Mangalacharana, invocation of peace. It means to say that whatever are the obstacles, those should be removed. Whatever can disrupt your life, your understanding, let that be removed. Let that go. Let there be peace. So here we go with this Kaivalya Upanishad, and its Shanti mantra is Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahanau Avatu Sahana Vavatu. Conjugation, it's a Sanskrit conjugation, so it becomes Sahana Vavatu. Avatu. Avatu means may he protect, may we be protected. Who we? we both now together, may we both be protected. Our who to, and then the context over here is that of the teacher and the disciple. What do you mean by the teacher should be protected and the disciple should be protected? Which means a teacher is protected if the teacher can teach, and the student is protected as a student if he can learn and understand. If you're going to run away from here, there is no student, the student is gone. Which means let that interest in understanding, in knowledge be retained. This is protection of the student. And let the teacher also retain his energy, his interest in teaching. Because if the teacher gets interested in something else, why will he teach? He may have the knowledge, but why will he impart it? I'm interested in doing something else, come on, you go. So no, may both of us be protected. Sahanav bhunaktu. Bhunaktu means bhuj is the dhatu is not meant for eating. People use this shloka, this particular mantra for eating. They say, may that God give us both to eat. Over here, this dhatu, this word bhunaktu means may He nourish us both. You can exist, but that just existence is not enough. Nourished, healthy existence is required. As a teacher, as a student, let there be that nourished existence. Sahavi, and now what? Sahaviryam karavavahai. May we both put our efforts, our valor, karavavahai, put together and work. Okay? So the student also is willing to put his effort. And this effort is viryam. The word viryam means the seed. Not the seed like the seed of a plant, but it means the human seed. A man deposits in a woman's womb for the fetus to be born, for the baby to be born. That is viryam. May we both exert that valor, so that the knowledge is born. Knowledge is never a one-way process. It is always two ways. As much as the teacher has to teach, so much the student also has to be willing and become available. A teacher may be there, and if the student is not available, then how would that knowledge ever be born? How can understanding ever take place? So both of these have to come together. Sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu. And whatever we have understood and known, adhitam, now whatever that has been grasped by your intelligence, what happens? Let it not rust. Tejasvi, let it remain shining always. Because that knowledge has to come to your rescue when it is required. If the knowledge does not come to your rescue when it is required, then that knowledge is meant only to give advice to others. That is only so that we can give advice to others. Till the other fellow tells, keep quiet. Don't tell me that. Tejasvinavadhitamastu, it should become available to you. Ma vidvishavahai, and in this whole process of learning and teaching, ma vidvishavahai, may there not be any hatred, any sense of animosity between us. So the teacher also doesn't find that the student is simply trying to overpower, or the student also does not feel that the teacher is exercising his authority and trying to suppress me. If anything of this happens, then there is obviously going to be, if the teacher feels that the student is simply just trying to be over smart over there, then also the process of knowledge and learning is hindered, suffers. And if the student also finds that the teacher is simply using his authority to suppress me, then also knowledge is not going to, and therefore let there not be any hatred. Ma vidvishavahai. As a result of this beautiful relation, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shanti means peace. Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, and Adhyatmika. At all the three levels. Life is just not what your eyes can see. It expands much more. As much as you see this physical world, there is this world of Adi Daiva. Okay? The deities which control or who are the presiding divinities of this world, Adi Daivika and Adhyatmika. So this physical world is available for you to see with eyes, to draw the inferences. Adi Daivika is not available over there. And Adhyatmika means your own self. So, the trouble which is caused by the physical world, over which you can have little control, like mosquitoes. If mosquito is going to bite, you can drive it away or kill it, whatever. If you are good and if your right brain functions well, you can catch it. So the mosquito is there. Adi Bhautika, Tapa. You have people around you and they will do some mischief and it is going to put you in trouble. So that is Adi Bhautika. Then there are factors over which you have no control. If there is typhoon, there is typhoon. What can you do? At the most, you can just sit at home. You cannot stop the typhoon from coming. Stop. You can't. If you have a wife or some girlfriend or some boyfriend, you can tell him, keep quiet, please. But you can stop him from talking. You can stop the typhoon from hitting. This is Adi Daivika over which you do not have any control. And finally, Adhyatmika, the trouble which is caused by your own body, the trouble which is caused by your own thinking pattern, it troubles you, but it causes trouble to you. Nuisance. So there are various quarters from which the trouble, the dukkham can come, and these are the three. So let there be from all the three places, which from where the dukkham comes, let there be shanti. Let all that go away. So now here we begin the Upanishad. After having invoked this peace, let us now go ahead. So I will just read the first mantra, and then we will see the subsequent mantras in the following days. Om Athashvalayano Bhagavantam Parameshthinamupasametyo Vacha Adhihi Bhagavan Brahma Vidyam Varishtham Sada Sadbhihi Sevyamanam Nigudham Yatha Yaya Chirat Sarva Papam Vyapohya Parat Param Purusham Yati Vidwan. This is the mantra. We can have these translations sent to you. Can we do that? And it on your phones, just as I'm reading over here. Those who can read the Devanagari script, the Sanskrit, they can. And some transliteration and also translation. It's possible, right? Okay. No, that's scaring me. So there is that. Let's see how to do that. We are having Kaivalya tomorrow. What time?
6:45
in the evening. So 6:45 in the evening to continue with the Kaivalya Upanishad. Okay? Alright. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Vadarayanam Sutra Bhashyakritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyaptadehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Thank you, friends. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.